What's up guys, C2113 here, and in today's video, we're going to be installing the Start-X Remote Start Kit on my 2022 F150 Lightning to bring remote start back to the key fob. Alright guys, so if you've got an F150 Lightning, then you're probably familiar with the fact that the key fob no longer has the remote start button on it. So if we take a look at an old F150 key fob, or not even old, but the internal combustion or gas version of the F150, the key fob looks like this. You've got your unlock, your lock, your 2-click remote start button, your 2-click tailgate button, and of course your alarm. However, the Lightning key looks like this. Unlock, lock, your front trunk button, your tailgate button, and your alarm button. So as you can see, all they've done is replace the remote start button with the front trunk button. Well, the problem is that means there is no way to trigger a remote start using the key fob. It's not even built in. And even though there are some peculiarities in the interface in the truck mentioning using the key fob or the remote to trigger remote start, if you ask Ford or you go to a dealer, they'll tell you it's not possible. The only way is to use the app. Well, if you're like me, you're not a fan of the app, you're not a fan of connected services, you're not a fan of your vehicle being connected to the internet all the time just so that you can remote start it. And so you're thinking to yourself, well, there's got to be a better way. Well, in today's video, we're going to find out if the Start-X Remote Start Kit can bring remote start back to the key fob for the F150 Lightning. So let's go ahead and start with the unboxing. All right, guys, so what we got here is the Start-X Remote Starter Kit for 2021 plus F150s. Now, specifically, this is the lock, unlock, lock, no honk kit. I don't remember if they sell one that does do the honk, but regardless, this is what I'm going to be trying to install on the Lightning, and we're going to see if it works. Because as you know, on the Lightning, Ford no longer includes remote start from the key fob. And so the only option is to use the Ford Pass app. Well, if you're like me and not a fan of all those connected services, then you're kind of out of luck. Well, except for this thing. So as always, I'll leave the link in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. But first, let's go ahead and see what comes in the box. Now, prices, as always, will vary, but this is something that I was able to pick up for around 150 bucks. Again, prices will vary and fluctuate. So, all right, so here is the actual module itself. Let's take a look here. Okay, very well packaged, I gotta say. And then you've got your tap harness, which basically taps into an existing gray connector harness, which I did verify that my Lightning has as well. And then you've got a ground connection in there. Let's see. Right here, that's going to be your ground connection. And then you've got a little sticker. It says put this under the hood. Gonna have to figure out where I'm going to put this because under the hood is the trunk, right? So, and then lastly, we've got our installation guide and instructions here. Pretty self-explanatory, so very simple. From all the guides that I've seen and looked into, this should be very easy to install. So why don't we go ahead and get over to the truck now and see if we can't do this installation. All right, guys, so here we are inside the truck. I know it's a little dark, but I'm gonna grab my flashlight here and get a little light going on here. Let me go ahead and pull the glove box out. All right, guys, so I've already got the glove box taken out. And I know this isn't the greatest view in the world. It's a little zoomed in so you guys can see, but the connector that we need to take out is this middle gray one right there. And then we're gonna need to use that bolt right there as our ground connection. So the first thing we're gonna do is disconnect this gray connector right here. And now that we got that disconnected, let's go ahead and get our harness. All right, so we need to tap in here. So we'll connect this end, and then we'll connect the other end back in there. And then we need to just tuck this underneath so that we don't cause interference with the glove box. All right, then we've got our harness and our ground connection. So these need to go this direction. So you just tuck these underneath. See if I can get these here. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to go ahead and pull that bolt off so that we got a ground connection there. All right, I got it nearly out so I can get it the rest of the way with my hand. And there we go. Let's thread through the ground eyelet. I'll put it back. All right, so now that we've got our ground connection hooked up, all we've got to do now is hook up our harness right here. And per the Start-X instructions, the module has to be mounted on the left side of the glove box, so you can't mount it anywhere else. I don't know if that has to do with interference or something else, but I'm gonna follow their instructions because clearly if they develop the product, they probably know best. All right, guys, so what we've got here is the unit is fully installed. Instead of zip ties, because I figured even if I could zip tie it around these cables right here, I figured, you know, it might rattle, it might make noise, and I really dislike rattles in my vehicles if I can avoid them. So instead, what I did was I cleaned up this aluminum dash frame right here, and I cleaned up the back of the unit, and I put some VHB 3M adhesive tape on the back of there, and this thing is going nowhere. Even though it's only that one thin side in the back, it's very strong adhesive, and that module is very light. Now, I did also have to program it, so I didn't show you guys that on camera, but honestly, the instructions are pretty clear. If you just follow these instructions and do the key cycles the way they want you to do them, you should have no problems. But that being said, why don't I show you guys how it works? Because good news, it works. So let me go ahead and button this thing up, put the glove box back in, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys how this thing works. All right, guys, so now let me show you how this thing works. Got my remote right here. And as you heard, those contactors engaged, and it is now on. Of course, no engine to start, so no noise. You can see inside it says to drive, press start button. And I can confirm the climate control is working. I can hear the blower motor, and I've also gone inside the vehicle and checked that it's actually warm air coming out, so it is working, despite the fact that none of the displays are coming on normally. So you can see the instrument panel isn't coming on normally, your head unit over there isn't coming on normally. Now in the instructions, it does tell you that once you remote started the vehicle to drive normally, when you get in the vehicle, you need to press the start button and then you need to press the brake. And that will shut off the remote start system so that it's in a normal start cycle. And also, you should make sure that you unlock the vehicle with the key fob before trying to open a door, or you could trigger the alarm. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so you can see the displays are kind of acting like the vehicle's still off, but if we do it in the order that they said, press the start button, and then depressing the brake, I heard the relays click in the module, and we are now in normal start mode. So that's it, guys. What can I say? The Start-X remote start kit for the 2021 and newer F150s, it does in fact work for the F150 Lightning. Now, I can only confirm this on my 2022 model. If you have a 2023, it might be different. So that's something that you're gonna have to look into, but I'm pretty sure they're the same. I mean, as long as your Lightning has that gray connector behind the glove box, you should be just fine. So anyway, guys, if you found this video helpful, definitely give me a like. If you have any questions, comments, or your own experiences installing the Start-X Remote Starter Kit for the F150, and specifically on a Lightning, definitely leave your experiences in the comments below. And as always, if you want to see more, don't forget to get subscribed.